Well, there's no shortage of jobs around, so I suppose I would have been able to pick one up, but he was a generous boss and kept me on a tight schedule, and for that I'm thankful.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. He's being played off. So, I'm now...
Disgraceful!
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just a time thing. But anyways, thank you all for your participation in questioning. Now that we've gone through and looked at all of the motives and actions of every suspect, we'll continue on to the conclusion of the show, where we'll discover who killed Edward Worthington. So, we know one of you here in this room killed the man. The question is, who?
Beatrice, what on earth are you doing?
I'm getting rid of the black things. I don't like them.
Well, don't throw the olive slices on the floor. I thought they were bugs.
So did I. Olive slices?
I put them on the hors d'oeuvres.
Beatrice, is it safe to assume that you removed olive slices from your hors d'oeuvres earlier tonight, say before dinner?
Oh, yes, Lieutenant. I never eat them. They taste nasty.
Did anyone else remove olive slices from their hors d'oeuvres?
I confess, I picked a pimento off of one and put it on the hors d'oeuvre next to it. Surely playing with one's food has not become a crime, Lieutenant McMillan. Aren't you supposed to be solving Edward's murder?
That is precisely what I am doing, Miss Worthington. In fact, I now know who killed the man. Edith! You said you wiped the knife with a damp towel after it came out of the dishwasher. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And you also said nobody touched it until Mr. Worthington and then Allegra. Am I correct?
That's right.
So there is only one person who could have put the substance that my lab chief found on the handle. Oil. Olive oil.
That's what you were searching the kitchen for.
Yes, but I was looking for bottled olive oil that you cook with.
Well, I don't use it. I prefer Crisco.
So I noted. It hadn't occurred to me to look for a jar of olives. They're no doubt the source of the substance that Miss Worthington passed from her fingers to the murder weapon.
Oh, no.
Miss Worthington, will you come with me?
With you? I suppose so. Where are we going, Lieutenant?
To jail. Beatrice Worthington, I'm arresting you for the murder of your brother, Edward Worthington III.
Oh, you think I killed little Bubba? I mean, maybe I did. It was so confusing in the dark, and you know how we,
Hold on, B.
Wait, Lieutenant. Miss Beatrice didn't kill anyone. She couldn't hurt a fly. I murdered the master.
Can you believe that the butler did it?
Nice one, Hollister. If you weren't going to the slammer, I'd give you a raise.
Ladies, please, this is no laughing matter.
Oh, who's joking?
You had better explain yourself.
Yes, you see, I have loved Miss Worthington for a very long time, though I could never tell her so. It wouldn't be proper.
Oh, Hollister, how sweet.
When I was terrified Mr. Worthington would send you away, as were you. So when you stepped across me to the table in the dark,
How did you know it was her?
I smelt her perfume, primrose. When she stepped across me to the table in the dark, and I heard the knife clatter as she picked it up, I fear she intended it to stab her brother, and I couldn't let that happen, so I felt for her hand and took the knife from her.
And stabbed him yourself?
Well, no, I hadn't intended to. Well, I don't expect you to believe it was an accident, but he fell back against me and the blade.
You think I'd kill little Edward? No, he was my brother. I thought the knife was pretty, and it had such a nice shiny blade, and like, I love things.
I understand, Miss Beatrice. Forgive me for misjudging you. Lieutenant, it appears I have made an unfortunate mistake, and I am prepared to do penance for the deed.
You've been a real gentleman's gentleman, Hollister. Well, up until you killed yours, of course.
Thank you, Ina. I expect you and Edith and Miss Vickers will continue to look after her. I expect I shall not be returning.
Oh, you bet we will.
Don't have to worry about that. We'll take care of it.
Hollister, let's go to the parlor. I need to give headquarters a call.
As you wish, sir.
And since the rest of you heard his confession, I'll need to take your statement, so please remain here.
Oh, the dear man.
Don't worry, Lumpy. We'll get a good lawyer to represent him. Come sit.
Oh, a good lawyer. I do wonder how you intend to pay for one. I appreciate Hollister for getting rid of the old ogre, but I don't intend on spending a fortune to defend him.
You're a cruel, greedy woman, Allegra.
And those are some of her better qualities.
Needless to say, you and your brat won't be getting any more handouts either. And as for Beatrice. I'm afraid Hollister's efforts were in vain. A rest home is where she belongs, and the cheapest one I can find.
Oh, you wouldn't.
No, she definitely would, but I mean, who wouldn't?
Louse.
You're horrible!
Oh, Mrs. Vickers, you were right. Tony is a terrible man. I figured you'd realize that sooner or later. I'm just glad it's sooner.
You know, well, while I'm cleaning house, Roy, I expect your resignation to my desk tomorrow. But clearly your business methods have much to be desired.
But I explained.
Like our boy.
Oh, I don't blame him for what he did. I just don't want him doing it with my money.
But it's not your money, and it never will be.
What?
Edward left a will. I'll schedule a formal reading later, but I'll tell you the gist of it now. Left everything to his daughter, Deborah, with 2 revisions. First, that should she marry, she'll retain her maiden name. And second, she used a son. She'll name him Edward Worthington IV, after himself.
I don't have any problem with that.
He also stipulated you are provided for his sister's care for the rest of her life.
I would have done that gladly anyway. Gee, Mom, I guess Father really did care something about me.
What do you know? The old boy had a heart after all.
Well, what about me? I mean, I came with the best years of my life.
From what he told me, that's not saying a lot.
Oh, shut up. So, Lawrence, what did Edward leave me?
Your Louis Vuitton luggage and your clothes you can pack into them. Period.
Luggage? You mean I killed Edward for nothing?
Allegra!
I, too, heard the knife clatter when Beatrice picked it up and saw it glimmer faintly. I knew whoever it was probably had intentions to do in Edward, so I gave them a little shove. Yes, I helped skewer the man, and I'm glad I did it!
That's very interesting. Hollister? It seems I'll be having another use for these.
Happy to return them, sir.
Allegra, don't tell them anything else. Mr. Blackwell, that advice is a little late. Allegra Worthington, I'm arresting you for the murder of your brother, or your husband, Edward Worthington III.
Take me away, I don't care, just get me out of this house!
My pleasure. We're gonna wait for my men. They're coming in a squad car outside.
Good riddance!
I can't believe it. Somebody finally used the front door.
Oh, Hollister. Oh, why didn't you tell me how you felt ages ago?
It wouldn't have been the correct thing to do, Miss Beatrice.
Oh, Piffle. We'll discuss that subject later. In private.
Yes, ma'am.
Hollister, perhaps it would help solve your problem if you were no longer Auntie's butler. I think it's time you retired with a very generous pension. And you're welcome to continue living here as long as you'd like.
Miss Deborah.
Mrs. Vickers, Ina, Edith, you're a part of our family, and you've shown me more love than poor father was ever able to. I hope none of you ever leave.
Deborah, Debbie, my pal. About my job?
Let me think about that one. No one can deny you've invested father's money brilliantly, Roy,
Well,
but I'm not sure I approve of all your methods. You are welcome to continue acting as a financial advisor for this place. But I expect you to meet with me every Friday afternoon to go over the books. And if I find anything irregular,
Believe me, you won't. The figures will look like textbooks examples, I swear.
fine. Roy?
Yes?
Somebody, you stole your job.
Yes, Carl.
Oh, God, there's a Walmart sale. We're going to be there first thing when the door's open.
I can't wait.
We're getting up at 5 a.m.
If you're taking over management of the company, Deborah, you need a good lawyer more than ever.
Don't worry, Lawrence. I'm sure between us, Mom and I will be able to find one.
Oh.
But we'll make sure it's a lawyer who doesn't betray his client's confidence.
You mean I'm fired?
Like a gas grill on the 4th of July. Oh, and Lawrence, you can tell that writer fella Jameson he's wasting his time if he intends to finish that novel. I think it's safe to say a novel from the perspective of his first wife who was there when he was murdered will knock any other writer's version right off the bookstore shelves.
Mom, are you really?
I am, if you'll help. Your father was a tyrant, but he was my tyrant, and I'm sure if I try hard enough I can think of a few good things to say about him. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. He did pay well money when he didn't have to, and he provided for me and Aunt Bee.
Well, if you need somebody to take shorthand and type it up for you, I'm a darn good secretary.
Mom?
Ugh, why not? You were taking him away from Allegra, not me. If you ask me, you gave her a taste of her own medicine. I think I owe you something for that.
You can stay on board, Peggy Sue.
Oh, thanks ever so much. To be honest, I'm glad I'll be working for women for a change. Maybe all the bruises where I keep getting pinched will clear up.
Guess that leaves everyone but me. Where do I stand?
Out in the cold, Tony.
Yep.
Edith summed you up perfectly. You're a terrible man. If I see you around here after tonight, I'll stick the dogs on you.
You don't own any dogs.
I'll buy some.
Oh my god.
Sounds like Lieutenant McMillan's men are arriving. Allegra's gonna be behind bars for a long, long time.
She's got one thing going for her, though.
What's that, Mom?
She's always looked good in stripes.